What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Pure Evil MMA Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Evil Eddie, and we got a really special guest here today, as we always do. But this is one of my favorites from one of the season's Ultimate Fighter, season 22. We got Abner Llovares, and am I pronouncing that name right, Abner?
Hello, what's up?
What's going on, man? I gotta say before we start anything off, it's an honor to have you on the show. The season Ultimate Fighter that you were on was definitely one of my favorites, and you personally were my ex-girlfriend's favorite fighter on the entire season, man. So I'd really like to start with talking about where you were at going into that house and what that experience was like before we catch up with everything that's going on right now. But first off, man, how you doing? How you been?
Very good. I just come from training. I have a new fight now in Germany, so everything is going good. Recovering from my broken hand. I got an injury in my hand, so ready to get back to the cage.
Man, how much time do you have to take away with a broken hand? Because I feel like that happens a lot in this sport.
Yeah, I broke a bone between my thumb and my hand, so I got 2 straight months without any train because I had 2 surgeries. So was not that bad. No, I still can move. Use my right hand for everything, but I could not really train for these 2 months. And then I started, and now it's 100%. So it's one injury, that happened in MMA.
Yeah, so before we talk about anything going on right now, let's talk a little bit about the Ultimate Fighter. I mean, Uriah Faber, man, he got to make his return. Did you catch Faber's fight? I know he was the opposing team, but what did you think about his return?
Yeah, that was amazing. No, this beautiful knockout. All the crowd was with him. It's amazing to see a guy like him, who is a very nice guy, and uh, more, almost everyone likes him. And with 40 years old, get that win in the UFC. It's amazing for him, for all his teammates. I'm very happy for someone like him to get a win like that. No,
Now,
very good for him.
let's talk a little bit about that season Ultimate Fighter that you were on, man. What was that experience like? Like, what were some of your favorite moments? There were so many highlights. Obviously, your coach, Conor McGregor, was getting ready for the biggest fight of his career against Jose Aldo. And we'll talk about that and what that was like for you when you're able to watch that historic fight. But, how exciting was that? What was your favorite moment, you think, from that season?
Well, it was almost everything. No, what I have to say was I didn't enjoy that much because I was in a very strict diet for the show. Because you never know when you're gonna fight, no. So I was every day hungry with diet. Some of the guys like Ryan Hall or Marcin the police, so they were lower weight classes, so they were eating all the time, and I had a very strict diet every day. So I was only thinking on food, no. So that for your mind it's very hard, but after that, no, it's all the show was very nice. Like to be on the house, to live that experience with the UFC, the Ultimate Fighter, and to it's a TV show like that, no. So it was many things together to have that experience. I get that for all my life. No, it was very nice, and in the show, you know, the diet was very bad, but I enjoy almost everything. Every day was nice with the guys. It was good with all of them, so I really enjoy that experience.
What was Conor like as a coach? I mean, what was like some of the strengths that he had that you took away from what he was able to teach you?
From him in the show, at first he was like he he didn't know us, so he has his team SVG. They are like a family, so he didn't know us. Was very like okay guys, do whatever you want. You need to win this for you, not for anyone else. So, but after 2 3 days, when we start fight and we start to be a group, a team against the USA, he really pushed us to win, to train. He give us some tips, and his attitude. No, it's not only the train techniques he shows, because technique, everyone has techniques to show, no, but the attitude has McGregor, and that mentality of winner, that we take a lot of things from him. Very
Yeah,
good, positive.
I remember that. I think it was one of the first couple episodes. He was sitting with you guys and saying, "Listen, this is not a team game. Like this show. You are here for you and you alone. So don't make friends with everybody. Obviously, make friends with everybody, but never lose touch of why you are here and what you're really fighting for." And obviously, going through that show, living in a house with all those fighters, I've interviewed a lot of guys that were on the Ultimate Fighter. I even do a show with somebody from season 10 of the Ultimate Fighter, and he says that experience was so difficult living with all these guys. Everyone's cutting weight, everyone's got ego. I mean, who did you really connect with on that season? Any lifelong friends that you made from season 22?
I don't really, after the show, I meet Artem Lovov a few times.
Artem,
I've
yeah.
been training with them with SBG. I think Artem was the guy. We have like a similar career, no? We fight everywhere, everyone. We have some losses, also wins. But I think we have a similar career and similar attitude. And I meet him a few times. He came to Barcelona. I went to Ireland. But there in the show, I was not really close to him. No, he was more close to Marcin or Sol Rogers because they are. No, Sol Rogers is from SBG England. So I think they fought each other, so they knew each other from before. And in the house, I'm a person I don't need to be close to no one, no. So I'm more on my own. I talk to everyone, but I didn't get close to anyone. But after the show, yeah, I meet our team a few times, and not much.
I gotta ask you, man, there were so many moments on that season, but one of the moments that really stood out was Daniel Timur and, getting in that little scuffle with Cody Nolov. What was that like personally, like being in the middle of all that when everybody was trying to fight? I think it was Conor and Cody that got into the scuffle originally. Where were you in that mix, and what were you doing?
Yeah, if you see that videos on YouTube, it's getting, I think, 11 millions of views. It's something amazing. Every time I see, I'm close to McGregor when he was talking to the American team, talking about TJ Dillashaw and Uriah Faber. Oh, that's the snake on the grass. And I was close to McGregor. I was thinking, man, shut down, man. Stop it. We want to fight here. Everyone. I was like, but he didn't stop me. I said, man, this McGregor is really crazy. And he don't stop. He didn't stop. He didn't stop. And then it starts everything. I was close, so everyone starts to push. And then come Daniel.
Daniel
No,
Timur.
Daniel.
Yeah, his brother is David. That's right.
Okay. So he come, then he start to do that with the underwear. So all the moment I was close to McGregor, I was, man, stop. Better you stop, because if we start to fight here 20 against 20, this is gonna be, we never finish here fighting. No, but then at the end, nobody fight. No, we start to push each other and talk, hey, motherfucker. But no, was amazing. That was crazy. That moment, I was, man, this McGregor is another level, no?
Now, I got to ask this. I'm going through your Instagram, and everybody that's watching the video cast right now, unfortunately, if you guys are listening to this on iTunes or Podbean, you can't see, so jump over to the YouTube page. But you did some cross-training with Gunnar Nelson recently? Is that what I'm seeing?
Not recently. I've been training with him because when I went with our team, and when we started into SBG Dublin, and then Gunnar Nelson was getting ready for a UFC fight, and they told me, hey, you wanna go with him to train? And then since that, I've been 2-3 times training with him. I've been traveling to Iceland, Reykjavik, and yeah, I've been training with him for a while, 2-3 times there, and it's amazing, man. That guy his level, it's really, really good on the ground. And stand up, his timing, his distance. I think McGregor has been learning from Gunnar Nelson a lot, He's the pioneer, Gunnar Nelson. His level is amazing. I learned also a lot from him, and it was a very good experience to train with him.
Now, you recently had a fight with Bellator. Are you going to be trying to get back over there? What were you discussing at the beginning of this interview your injury and upcoming fight possibly. What's going on right now?
So I just text Bellator the guys because I got the fight for Bellator like 1 week notice against Jimmy Wallhead, who is a guy from England, very popular in England. He has fought in Bellator for a long. He has fought in the UFC. And I just text them, hey man, I didn't get feedback from Bellator. What happened, man? I fought for Bellator 1 week notice. I put my hand on the show. And nobody texts me about if I'm good with my hand or if you did a good fight. No, it was I lost by decision, but it was very close, the fight. So I just text the guy, they didn't text me back yet. I don't know what happened with them.
So
You know?
this was actually back in February that this happened. And you're saying right now the people at Bellator didn't message you back, or who didn't message you back?
No, they didn't. The matchmaker, I just text him like, hey, what happened? I didn't get any feedback from Bellator, from you, from anyone. So anyone worry about my broken hand or if I fought good or not, they didn't say anything. It was a very weird, right? You know, but I have an age, I'm 36, so I don't have time to lose or wait for any promotion, no? Now I fought Bellator, then I already fought UFC. So if a good promoter give me a good fight, and I don't wait for anyone anymore.
Is that kind of weird for a promotion not to check up on their fighter? Because I've never really heard of that. Somebody not making sure one of their athletes are okay, or somebody that really helped them out in a tight situation, especially on 1 week's notice.
Yeah. I just get the fight. I don't know what happened. They pay me, and it's like, okay, you come, you fight, and you go. I was last week. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, that's a little bit. It's not polite, no? At least you should ask. Hey, you are okay? You have any injury? If you need any help, let us know. But no, nobody do it. But man, I don't care.
So what are you doing right now? Are you getting ready for a fight? Are you looking for fights? What's going on with you right now, currently?
No, I will fight for the title lightweight for GMC in Germany. So against Mohamed Gravinsky, who fought in the Ultimate Fighter, the TUF 22 season. He lost against the Martin Svensson.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he didn't get in the house. And I will fight him in September for the GMC. It's the biggest promotion, the MMA promotion in Germany. I will fight for the lightweight title. So I'm on diet now and getting ready for the fight. It's going to be a very nice fight, very nice promotion, big venue. So I think it's a great fight. I'm motivated to do it.
Now, Abner, I'm so happy to hear that you're motivated to do this, because I remember messaging you and hearing interviews back when Ultimate Fighter Season 22 finished, and you were kind of having second thoughts about continuing your career. What was the turning point that made you motivated again to keep following down this road of mixed martial arts? What was it that clicked, that kept you inspired?
I think one of the motivation, when you get in the TUF, in the Ultimate Fighter and UFC, at least here in Spain, in Catalonia, in Barcelona, we don't have many fighters. I think we have 2 in the UFC. So I get popular here. So, that popularity gives me motivation to keep doing. Now I need to get profit from that. Then I get some belts. I fought in Italy. I won a title belt there. So I start to get popular. I think I need to make some money also here, coaching, and I think that makes me keep going, And I think I did some good fights from the Ultimate Fighter and the UFC. I won a few title belts, and now I hope to get the next one. So I get that motivation to keep working, to keep on the MMA, and to enjoy that lifestyle,
Now,
I love it.
Before we let you go, I think one of the most popular questions that we got to ask you is, obviously when that season Ultimate Fighter was finishing up, Conor McGregor was getting ready for the fight with Jose Aldo. And it was, I believe, the same weekend as you guys were fighting. It was International Fight Week. Did you sit there? Did you witness that in person? Or did you watch it backstage? Bring us through that. What was that night like for you, Jose Aldo versus McGregor?
Yeah, so as a fighter, that international week after the Ultimate Fighter, it's many experience I have lived as a fighter. That's really, it's like a dream. When I start to train MMA, then if someone they say no, you will go to the Ultimate Fighter, you will fight UFC, then Bellator. Man, I will sign in a second. No, that all that experience, the International Fight Week was amazing in Las Vegas, the MGM, and I was watching all the big fighters: Jacare, Damian Maya, McGregor, Jose Aldo. All was 3 UFC 3 days straight, so many fighters around, and was amazing. The experience was very nice, and about was the big fight, big title fight. McGregor Jose Aldo, for all the media around the world was expecting, and I could not get in the venue, so I watched it with friends in a bar because they didn't give free tickets for fighters. So, but the experience was amazing. I wish I could see it live, but at least for 30 seconds. Also, if you pay $1,000 for 3 seconds, then also it's not very profit, no. But all the experience that weekend for me as a fighter, as a person, was amazing, and I keep that with me, and I enjoy that days of my life.
Now, last question I got to ask you. You said that you got an upcoming fight. Is that going to be the only fight for you this year? Is that what you're focusing on? Just one more fight for 2019?
I was negotiating a boxing fight because also I'm undefeated in boxing. I was doing very good as amateur boxer. I won 3 national championships. I went to the European championships, and I'm 4-0 in professional boxing. They give me a fight in Philadelphia against a guy 11 undefeated, also 11-0. And the commission, they don't allow us to fight. They say no, it's too many different fights. The guy has 11 and 10 knockouts, and you only 4 fights. So I don't know why. That fight was going to be in August. Now in 3 weeks, something like this, or 2 weeks. And the commission there in Philadelphia, they didn't allow the fight. They say it's different, too many. He has 11, me I have 4. But that was a nice opportunity also in boxing, but I could not get it. And after that, after the Germany fight, I hope to get some. I think from September to end of the year, I hope to get a few fights. And you don't know if I will get the GMC belt, maybe defend it, and anything good any good fight I get, I will get it.
Abner, you're 4-0 as a boxer, so that's exciting, man. A lot of people are getting back into boxing, it seems, and we're really excited to have you check in here with us at Pure Evil MMA. At this point in the interview, what we like to do is give the imaginary microphone over to you. If you have any sponsors, any shout-outs, social media tags, anything at all, the floor is now all yours.
Oh yeah, so I use this last question we talk about boxing. I also text bare knuckle boxing.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I text them, they text me back, but then I didn't get any another answer. The second one, I sent my curriculum. I told them I fought in the UFC, I pro boxer. So also, if they give me a good fight, I will go. Also, it's an experience I would like to do, a bare knuckle boxing, and that's it. Just to after that, no. A message to everyone, all the MMA fighters, the young fighters, to keep going. Always the opportunities. If you keep training, the opportunity always comes. Sometimes they come late, but they will come. And that's it. I say hi to my friends there in Team Link, in
right here at Mass,
Ludlow, in Springfield,
yeah,
Massachusetts. And all my friends around there I had there from my team. My time I was there training with Team Link and fighting for CES. So if they listen, say hi to them.
Oh man, they listen all the time. A lot of the fighters come on here as well. I was just cage side for John Gotti III's fight. They're doing big things for CES right now. So yeah, Team Link, definitely a big shout out to them. Abner, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you a blessed future, and we wish you to heal well with your hand as well.
Yep. Thank you very much to you.
God
Very
bless.
nice.
Abner, really quick. Abner.
Let me know.
Abner, can you hear me?
What?
Can you just really quick say, hey guys, this is Abner, the Skull Man Llovares, and you're listening to Pure Evil MMA?
Yep. Hey guys, this is Abner Lloveras, and you're listening to Evil MMA.
Thank you, Abner. God bless.
Welcome. See you.
There you guys go. Abner Llovares, the Skull Man from Season 22 Ultimate Fighter on Team McGregor. How cool is that, man? One of my favorite seasons of Ultimate Fighter in history. And you're having people like Artem Lobov that season. Timur, what a success he's been. Ryan Hall just fought. Abner saying that he fought for Bellator. They didn't get back to him to check if he was okay. Find that a little weird. And I know a lot of journalists wouldn't go that far to try to get that story. But if Abner is saying that, man, I find that a little weird to not reach out. And I feel like Bellator's had issues with that in the past, not letting fans know how, even back when Dada happened, a lot of the fans were going berserk because we didn't know what his conditions were, this or that. And I'll tell you this, every time I've dealt with Bellator, amazing. Very, very professional. Some of the best moments of my media career have been with Bellator. It's a little weird. I don't know what's going on with that, but hopefully Bellator will do the right thing and check with Abner and make sure that he healed well after taking a fight on 1 week's notice. And what a nice stand-up guy, man. I was so concerned that he was going to back away from mixed martial arts or combat sports in general. A couple weeks after Ultimate Fighter wrapped up, he was having second thoughts. Here he is, 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, doing the damn thing. 4-0 in boxing, doing big things with MMA, training up here at Team Link. So Abner, make sure to give Abner a follow on his Instagram at Abner Llovares. That's AbnerLoveras. Also, same thing on Twitter. That does it for this episode of Pure Evil MMA, guys. I will be doing the recap show for this weekend's event. Also got to discuss a little bit of news with John Jones and why I am scratching my head wondering why people are throwing him under the bus so quick without any evidence at all. But kind of like the boy who cried wolf, I guess. We'll be talking about that later on tonight. So subscribe down below. Give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're watching this on Periscope, I thank you so much. We have a new Twitter page at Pure Evil MMA_. Same thing on Instagram at Pure Evil MMA_. Or follow my personal page on Twitter at Evil_Echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. On Facebook at Pure Evil MMAS. And you can find all the links, MMA news, interviews, everything at PureEvilMMA.com. Well, that does it for this episode, guys. I'm Evil Eddie from PureEvilMMA.com. Remember, without evil, there's no purity. White knuckles to the end. Behave yourselves.